Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Can you hear us both?
Can we be heard? Can we be seen? Are you all feeling funky fresh?
Yes, it works.
Yay! All right, awesome.
Amazeballs.
Mm-hmm. All right, so it's the return of the spirit. Isn't it amazing? We've been waiting for so long. It's been all the talk of the morning streams. It's been like, what's Spirit coming back?
Really?
And now we have him. Moo ah ah ah.
I want a trailer.
Dun, dun.
From the creators.
Vacation is over.
From the creators that brought you Spirit on One comes
Dun,
now.
dun. With pizza at the door. Dun, dun. With napping plenty. He has returned.
The vacation was fine, really. It was Mallorca and it was well needed. And my son now goes to school, which is also very exciting. Yeah.
Oh, they grow up so fast.
Oh, they fucking do.
Clearly not everybody, Mr. Potty Mouth. All right, so today, for the next sort of hour, we're gonna be working on Gollum here, and a little sneak. So, taking questions and just hanging out, having a good time. If you guys want to draw along and do your own Gollums, that'd be awesome. Some of you have been real nice and following along, doing your own studies and stuff in the morning stream. So if you want to follow along and do your own version of Gollum, that would be awesome too. And I'd be happy to have a look at them on Instagram, or if you send them by mail or whatever. That'd be awesome. A lot of awesomes.
The way you said it, it's like Gollum.
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 Gollum sounds more like some guy from Wall Street.
Mr. Gollum, to see you, sir. Or it sounds like a metal. That's gallium.
Oh yeah.
Damn it. God damn it. I was being clever, but no.
It's shit when you try to be smart, but then you realize it's not a unique thought.
Yeah, well, how like life, eh?
Oh yeah.
Schlurby is on. What's up, Schlurby?
Oh, you already got your little posse while I was gone, right?
Oh, dude, the posse is strong. The morning stream posse. The morning stream mentats. So, what's everybody else up to today?
The 2 a.m. posse.
Wake up and draw, wake up and draw. It's the mantra of life. All right, I think this guy's ready to outline and make ready. This is the most confusing work file I've had because I have all the other studies on here too. Okay, let's think. So I'm just gonna do it in like a stark yellow. I've been thinking about like what like skin tones and stuff to do for this guy. So I'm gonna be. I think I'll set the background tone as like a greasy green sort of color.
Something along boogers, right?
Yes, definitely. No, yeah, like that. That's literally it. That's gonna be good.
Your internet connection is really good.
Hey, okay, so we had like the first or second time we did the morning streams, literally the internet died. And I think that was the general network in the area going down. So ever since, it's been pretty stable and great. So I think that was like the kick in the balls the provider needed to like, oh, maybe we should like fix this and make it good, so they don't go with another provider.
Yeah. You need to adjust the camera that is for your face, because when you draw, you basically look like you have no mouth. Yeah, perfect. Leave it like that.
Sup, Doodle Hound?
Hey, Will.
I don't want to say that everything's obvious, but I think Will gets the gist of it. No, wait, that was the wrong Will. Damn it! Sorry, Will. Wrong Will.
I thought about maybe you should start your morning streams with a prayer, Full Metal Jacket style. Like,
this is my pencil. This is my sketch. And if I'm lucky, I don't get. No, I don't know. What rhymes with sketch?
But this is mine.
there are many brushes, but this one is mine. What rhymes with sketch?
Sketch.
Edge. Yeah. Edge. Sketch. Edge. No, that doesn't rhyme.
Little.
Sketch. Fetch. Lech. Kvetch. Yeah, we should have.
I'm not the wrong wheel. I'm the right wheel.
Oh shit! Oh no! We've started a dynastic wheel struggle.
I can read the sentence in all kinds of voices. Every time, it's not really good.
I'm not the wrong will. I'm the right will. The true will. How dare you, sir? I will have the power.
Shit. Look what you did.
I've started something. Thanks, Dan Rob. That's very nice to see.
Where are the questions? I guess because of the morning streams, people don't really give a shit about anything anymore, right?
No, people are just...
Speary's back. Yes, I am. And I probably will be gone again. Like a week or something.
Yeah, people don't start asking questions, you'll be out of a job. Yeah, Will's been pretty precocious with his questions, so a lot of answers are out there now.
What's the meaning of life? Okay, that's an easy one.
42. That's the meaning of life. Nah, whatever you make of it, I suppose. Does everything need to have a meaning? Isn't it enough to just essentially be a fancy fungus on the crust of a spinning ball of magma? I think that's pretty neat.
Okay.
Don't you?
No.
All right. So what's your answer then, Mr. Lacedaemos?
Oh, you want wait, dude, I'm not from Sparta. I'm like
no, but the whole one syllable answer kind of fits the goddamn mold, doesn't it?
Okay. For me, I mean, are you seriously asking now? For me, the meaning of life. I mean,
we have to talk about something, don't we?
Yeah, then have a kid, and it's simple as that.
That's the meaning of life, to procreate.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
No,
so
the meaning of life is to sustain what you created.
All right, that's a little better, but is that the meaning of life, or is that the meaning specifically of your life? Like, is that universal? Is that Heideggerian or Nietzschean?
My life.
All right, well, that's fair.
Everybody else can have whatever reason they want, even if it's something like, I don't know, like Rick and Morty.
Kill all the pigeons.
Yeah, or that.
But would you say that your life would have no meaning if not for your son?
No, just a different one.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so it is whatever you make of it then.
I guess if it wasn't there, it would be like, crush your enemies.
Describe that before
you and hear the lamentation of the woman.
Oh, okay. So Mr. Giannakis is a simple man.
Did you just call me Giannakis?
Did I not?
I'm not Italian.
Well, okay, how do you say your name? Giannakis?
With a soft J, it's Giannakis.
Really?
Yes.
That's the one way I've never said it. All right, Mr. Giannakis. Mr. Giannakis.
Fuck, man.
Mr. Giannakis.
You can stop. We have questions.
Oh, shit. Okay, cool.
Evan,
that's with the questions.
Evan, you pretend to visit Brazil again.
What's that? What?
Evan, you pretend to visit Brazil again?
I pretend. I would love to. I mean, I'm not so delirious with my memories of Sao Paulo that I'd be like, acting them out to myself. Though from time to time, I do crave some pão de queijo. That shit is the craziest. I've told you about that, right? The cheese bread.
I don't know. I haven't been there yet.
Oh, okay. So in Brazil, they have this thing, which translates roughly to like bread of cheese, and you think you know what it means. You think in this moment you think you know what it means, but you don't. It's like it's not bread with cheese, and it's not bread with cheese in it. It's bread and cheese emulsified into one being.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the mix of the DNA. It's ooh, that's delicious.
It sounds
So yeah,
like a transporter accident in Star Trek or something.
it kind of is. I mean, I am not convinced that that's not how it happened.
It's cheese splicing.
Yeah,
We just do it here.
it's like when you explain everything with cheese, it's cheese splaining. I'm sorry, he's a little salted today, like a gorgonzola.
Yeah. Oh god.
Sorry, he's being a little bitter. He's a bit of a shaver.
Is that?
Anyway,
I was wondering. It has to do with Medusa.
what, the gorgonzola? What, Gorgon. Jesus.
Come on, you
Christ.
started the bad jokes.
You're right. You're right. You're right. I don't know. Now I'm curious. What is the etymology of the gorgonzola? I mean, maybe it's
Right?
no. Well, it's not one of the worm cheeses, so it
No.
can't be that. Like,
No, but it's
I don't know.
mold, and it's
Right?
yeah.
But is that what gorgon means?
I don't know. No, it doesn't. But maybe Italian.
You're the resident Greek, man. You expected to know this stuff.
Gorgonzola is Italian. I don't have.
Yeah. Greek, Italian. You're all the same. You all wear togas.
Yeah, you are Danish.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, except I don't speak with a potato in my throat. I'm sorry, Danes, but that's what you sound like.
Yeah, I mean, okay, Norwegian is very different. So, hey, Evan, do you find the Apple Pencil to be a little unbalanced? I had to put 4 pencil grips on the front end to balance it out, lol.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely takes a little getting used to. Does the Apple Pencil? But after a while, like I used to have like a bunch of things that I put on. Oh no, I think the Apple Pencil just ran out of battery. I'll just charge it for 20 seconds.
Again?
Yeah, it's that I think is the biggest issue with the Apple Pencil is like the battery time.
No, that's your issue.
Yeah. But like versus the inconvenience of charging it. Like the new one is great because it just snaps to the side, but in this old one, like you have to plug it into the end, so it looks and feels real ridiculous when it's just like sticking out that way.
Have you considered to buy a second pencil?
That wouldn't make any difference. No, it's not talking about. No, it's like the second generation iPad that has the snapping to the side.
No, I just mean like you don't have to charge it. You can.
Well, then I would have to keep track of 2, and that's not gonna help. So no. But it would have been a good idea. Like, I'm sure there's a system I could set up to make this easier for myself, but you know how I am with that.
Oh, I'm not commenting on this.
I'm very political of you, Mr. Giannakis.
What is the Fifth Amendment?
I decline to comment.
No, I'm not sweating. You're sweating. I got a question.
What are you talking about?
What time is it there? Because every time I plan to be on the stream, I ended up mixed with schedule. So, Dan, there is this thing called Google, and you can put in any kind of, like Norwegian time zone and just see what happens.
Dude, why are you savaging the poor boy? It's 6:15 here, dude.
Because I know the dude. That's why.
Oh, okay.
I can do that.
That's still harsh. All right, we're at 3%, people.
Are you going to Lightbox is another question.
Not this year. Hopefully next year. Yeah, it's crashing a little this year with some family affairs.
Mm-hmm.
But next year will be cool.
I will go. See you there. I have a question. Who is this? I'm sort of new. Sorry.
What? That was one of the questions?
Yes.
Hello.
Really?
Hello, I'm Evan. I like to draw silly things and talk nonsense with my friend Spirido.
I'm God.
That's the issue we have with him.
What? Wow, that's a good one. What do you prefer, Procreate or Photoshop, and why?
As a product, I prefer Procreate. Like it's more user friendly. It's more intuitive. It's easier to learn. It's easier to take advantage of all the options in it. I know Photoshop is still bigger and has more technical options, but dude, Procreate is pretty amazing, and you can take it with you anywhere. So there's that.
When you're drawing with pen on paper, do you draw like Kim Jong-gi, or do you try to lightly block in the big forms and then detail it out from there?
A little bit of both. Depends on what I'm drawing, really. Like if I'm drawing from life, then usually I'll. I'm not adverse to like throwing in some anchoring lines and like little waypoints and stuff. But when I'm drawing with brush pen, you don't really have the option to do that. So then I usually go in straight and just like really try and concentrate on getting it right.
Sorry. Pau de Queijo, so fucking good. I cannot read in Portuguese. That's my problem.
Portuguese.
Congratulations on Superani, Evan. Yeah, we didn't really put that out yet, right? We gotta make some sort of post.
Yeah, should make a little announcement post of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's well, it hasn't. I don't think it has really sunk in yet. But dude, it's a little mind blowing. Like it, and it was. Speaking of casual, the way you brought it up when it first became a thing, you were like, "Oh yeah, you're part of Super right now." I was like, "Okay, how am I supposed to feel about this?"
I did.
It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, I did. I really did. That's kind of fucked up, but I did. Yeah. Yeah, Superani. Feta is Greek. Yes. I'm going to ruin the great mood, but here, what if you get pressured into creating masterpieces while you don't feel quite there yet and would rather continue studying?
Try and find time to do both. Like, they're not really two separate things. Like the one is a function of the other. So if you're trying to create some fantastic illustrations, then doing studies to complete that task is definitely like a part of that process. So, like trying to not rely exclusively on your existing sort of library of references, but expanding that and like honestly regarding each problem as one to solve rather than one to be like conquered. Does this make sense? Like there's a lot of sort of small pride points that comes to mind when it comes to this stuff, and the better you can get at sort of separating your own sort of petty pride out of it and honestly go in and assess what problems you know how to solve and which ones you don't, makes it easier for you to figure out what you need to study and what you need to improve on. Of course, there's like a time element to that. So if you have to produce in the moment to complete on deadline, then you do your best, and then you take adverse notes about what you don't know what to solve, and you go back and then address that later.
You done?
Yes, sir.
You gotta give me an over and out from time to time, so I know.
Cut.
Yeah. Okay, this is Portuguese. I cannot read Portuguese. Juntem-se todos os falantes de português a poderem-se deste chat. Awesome. If it would be in Spanish, I could make it sound like it was in the kind of native because it's very similar to Greek. But this,
if you're doing Portuguese, just try and sound Russian. It'll work. Seriously.
Juntem-se todos os falantes.
Perfect.
This is so wrong. I don't do this usually. He kind of wronged me into it.
That's what I do. It's what I do.
Daniel Fabro is asking, is your process in Procreate too different from the one you use in Photoshop?
No, they're pretty much the same. Especially now that they've added in clip masking and all that stuff. I don't really have to change my process at all. But the big difference is like with lasso tool and clip and masking, because in Photoshop I would use masks a lot more actively, but it's a hassle to select and then deselect and reselect the masks in Procreate still. So the moment they find like a simpler way of doing that too, I'm gonna be all the way back to my old ways. Over.
I was just waiting for it. Okay. Okay, next question.
Question number 2.
Did you ever watch the behind the scenes of the Peter Jackson Lord of the Ring films?
Have I?
Yeah,
God,
I must have seen them more times than the actual movies. Is what he
Yeah,
said.
man. That's a bi-yearly or twice a year viewing for me. It's my not so guilty pleasure. I love him. Oh, they were my big instruction to all things production related when I was younger. So yes, it's a definite and high strung yes. Fire.
Do you have a custom brush set, or are you using the default brushes on Procreate?
Most of the default brushes. I have a couple of brushes that Nikolai Lockhartson, who's a Norwegian artist working with Savage Entertainment, has put together. Or to put together, we were at a cafe and he was like, "Hey, I got some brushes. You want some brushes?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll take some brushes." So I have some of those brushes too. But yeah, mostly I just use the standard brushes because they good.
I would just be writing. Wait a second. Nikolai Lockhartson. Get some good brushes there.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. I haven't been able to watch live in a few weeks, but thanks for keeping the VODs up. I've been having a good time listening to them while I work.
Hey. That is good to hear.
Evan, did you have issues working with colors on Procreate at first? My paintings look muddy as hell on Procreate.
Yeah, not really. I mean, it's the moment I got it down to the same sort of routine that I used to have in Photoshop, it was pretty easy to sort of bring that knowledge across. So, to no greater degree than they were usually muddy, I guess. But I think if you're finding yourself having that issue, it might be that you're, for example, overindulging in the use of the eyedropper tool, stuff like that. So you might want to just reassess what you're doing and address that. I mean, it might be that to do with the display as well. If you're coming from like a computer with a very high saturation screen, it might be that the Apple screen is a little different. But yeah, I haven't really had an issue with that.
When coloring in Procreate, do you always keep the screen brightness at 100%?
When I'm doing lights and shadows, then I always do that. But if I'm coloring, then it's not like a... Because coloring is more about relationships than the individual specific color. But lights and shadow is very much about luminosity, so then you kind of need the specific read. But it's I try to, as much as like whenever I'm plugged in, whenever I have like a charger station, I will keep it at 100 just for continuity's sake.
What do you think about when choosing your color?
What does it say? Like, is it like for this guy, right? Like, I think about a bunch of the stuff that I want this Gollum to be, and then I think about how I can use color in that pursuit. So there's a skin disease called, let me get this right.
He's asking for color. You're going to skin diseases. This is awesome.
Yeah, of course. Rosacea is this, or Rosacea, I'm not sure, but it's a skin disease where you get like red blotchy skin, and I thought that was kind of wait. One of the lovelies brought it up on the Twitch. I think it was Shoni. Let me see. Something before. Slurby, I think, brought it up before, and that was damn it, Apple Pencil again. That was such a great idea for Gallo to like try and get like a bit of a constellation of colors based on like his flaws, like the disgustingness of him. So I like that idea, Speaking of,
did I tell you about Stefan Brand? Remember
no,
him from the first Weekend of Love?
I'm sure I remember the face, but I'm not good with names.
Okay. So he works for the guys who make Das Schwarze Auge, like a German D&D.
The Black Eye?
Yes, and he's pretty specialized in creating maps, and
Oh,
maybe we should talk to him.
yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. For
Yeah,
time, like make a whole world map and stuff.
At some point, you want to go there, I think.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
What do we have? Hey, Legend of Side Quests. Nice to be
Ooh.
back. Can you voice over dub the character you're drawing? Well, you brought that on yourself.
Gollum. Yeah. Oh, we must place the college, my precious. We must place the college. Yes. Oh, a constellation of facial malfunctions. Oh. Gollum.
Something like that.
Something. Okay. Who's your favorite character from Lord of the Rings, and perhaps throw in your reasoning behind the choice?
You know what? Like, it's not the coolest character. It's not the most controversial. My favorite character is always gonna be Imrahil of Dol Amroth, just because, like, I love all the kind of twisted and interesting and deep and dark characters and all their flaws. But like, this guy is just awesome. He's just like this guy who's just like a knight. It's the same reason why I really like Barristan Selmy from Game of Thrones. Like, I like these. I mean, I'm not saying they're the best characters or that they're like, morally good or whatever. I like a sort of straight up archetype with a tiny twist. And I like that about Imrahil. Like, all the time of like the War of the Rings, he was fighting these like skirmishes in like the south of Gondor, and then once the Corsairs were defeated and they could come to Minas Tirith, he had the chance to sort of like live up the Gondorian dream, and he did. That's so awesome. And he saves Eomer from the last stand of the Rohirrim and stuff. It's awesome. He's so cool.
I thought you would say Tom Bombadil because that's mine.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Bombadil is cool, but is he a cool character? Like, I like him as a figure, right? Like, I like the idea of this sort of uber being that's just like not taking anything seriously. Like, he could just reshape the world if he wanted to, but that's not really what he's about.
He's everything I ever want to be.
just
God. No, it's about like
there's a repeating motif here, sir.
Yeah. No, it's just, what is pizza töjen?
Oh, that's I'm going to have pizza with my parents in a bit at a place called the Post Office at Töjen. It's the best pizza in Oslo.
You will be a little bit late.
Yeah, a little bit.
And also, yes, having Speary back is awesome. Even Evan seems happier, and that's hella good. Really? Oh, that's so cute. Are you happy, Evan? Really?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's not 8 a.m, and I'm not coffee groggy, so I probably seem a lot happier. But it's super nice to have you back, man.
Can you put the pizza Töjen thing away?
Oh, it's still there. Sorry. Can you put the pizza thing away?
I basically put out all notifications about people following Evan because you basically asked for it, because it was just continuing like popping up. But we all have all kinds of notifications when people are subscribing, or when we have this raid going, or all these things. They're still there. So yeah, that's why you had that, because you got a subscription from Skeletor Toys.
Oh, thank you.
Have you ever felt that the big world-building-esque projects you undertake are daunting?
I mean, depends a little bit what you put in the word. Of course, like the it's a little bit more risk to it, if that's what you mean, like for daunting. But not in like a negative way. It's just like it's bigger in scope. It's more fun that way. So sure, they're daunting, but they're supposed to be. That's the fun part.
What fairy tale folklore story would you like to see adapted into a good show or movie with good production and historical and integrity that doesn't exist forever? Historical integrity.
I mean, if you're talking about like historic, you're talking about like a fantasy story or like an actual
It says
history.
fairy tale folklore story.
Oh, okay. Fairy tale folklore story, eh? I'd love to see like an actual, like a making of King Arthur, where they mix together like the early Dark Ages period of England, where like the Saxons are coming over, and this guy who's like mixed heritage, British and Roman, is trying to like coalesce the new English nation into something, and fighting off these invaders, like an actual reproduction of that, but based in its actual um, historical time period, with like respecting those things. That'd be interesting, I think. Over.
Yeah, I get it. Oh shit, an evening stream. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Spirit, are we supposed to direct our prayers towards you? Yes, you are. and everything else too. Of course. Imrahil was quite a badass. He did a number on the Pelennor fields.
Oh hell yeah! Dude, he's the biggest coolest guy.
You like these characters that are all about duty, right?
I mean, sometimes, right? Because some characters who are all about duty kind of make that into kind of a questionable, or do a lot of questionable things in the name of duty. Like Catelyn Tully, for example, is a character who gets a lot of props for being like a strong mom and yada yada, but she's kind of a terrible person. Like she's prejudiced, and she's kind of overconfident about her abilities, and she's headstrong and disanalytic. So yeah, like, but her whole mantra is family and duty and honor. I think I'm more about people who strongly are are strongly convicted by a personal code. Like, one of my favorite characters of all time is from what's his name again? God damn it. Let me check. Omar from The Wire, who is this, like, he's like a vigilante badass, but also like super interesting guy who's like a bit of like a Robin Hood character in this sort of gangland drama. And he's all about like the personal code. Man's gotta have a code. Oh, indeed. So I respect that,
What's the best way to or approach in your... Wait a second, no, it flipped. In your opinion, to study in art?
Wait, can you say that again?
Sorry, what's the best way or approach in your opinion to study in art?
Study in art.
Yes.
That is a large question. It's hard to say. I think probably the best thing you can do is to Like, it's not a question of where to start. It's like the best way of doing it. The best way of doing it is probably to displace any notion of wanting to be good at art, at drawing or painting or whatever, and replacing that with a wish to become good. And that sounds like just someone playing with words, but it's not. It is an important difference. Like, if you're going to work with someone, do you want to work with someone who thinks they're like awesomely good, or someone who's really into getting good at what they do? You want the second. You want someone who's willing to put in the work and whose ability is to see the flaws in how things are and move forwards and improve those things. And so that's like the first really important thing you can teach yourself, in my opinion. And then from there, it's simply a question of understanding what is not working in what you're doing, and being both creative and consistent in how you solve the problem of each individual challenge. Does that make sense? Over?
I don't know.
No, but you. Yeah.
Hey, it's Iris Moody.
Hey, Muddy.
How did you? How did you?
How did you?
I do the weekend. The weekend now with all these people, it fucking damaged my voice again. How did you practice fisheye perspective?
So fisheye perspective is essentially just fourth point perspective. So fourth point perspective is an understanding of a three-point perspective that moves beyond like the vertical barrier, right? So essentially you have to, my way of doing it is to like imagine the elements that I'm drawing in front of me, and then sort of turning to look at the next one and the next one and the next one, and that kind of appreciation naturally curves the perspective around. But you can think about it as like boxes in space, and then if you want to draw like a panorama of boxes, then you're gonna have to play games with how you set up the termination points on the horizon line and on the horizontal axis. So it's literally about learning all the rules of perspective, and then little by little beginning to break them so as to facilitate the idea of movement through time and therefore through space. All the way around, through space and therefore through time.
What do you use now to connect and record your iPad? Something like Astropad?
I'm using an app called A Power Mirror. Streaming that to the laptop and then screen sharing that with Spiridon. And then he's streaming onto Twitch. And on normal days, when I'm just doing the morning stream, I'm doing just A Power Mirror straight to OBS and then streaming that to Twitch.
What is... so there's something written like La Ilorona? What is that?
La Ilorona.
Do you know what that is?
I don't know, it sounds like a dance. La Ilorona. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. No?
Okay. No, I don't know.
Someone is not in a chatty mood today.
I'm just trying to catch up with people, man.
Oh, okay.
I suck at multitasking.
Y'all gotta slow down. You're freaking out, Spiritual. He's not been around this many people for a long time.
Spirit, what is your favorite Lord of the Rings character? Like I said, Tom Bombadil. He's just the shit.
But why? Why is he the shit?
Because he's always in a good fucking mood. I want to be always in a good fucking mood.
Yeah, that is true. But
Yeah.
like, what if it's like, what if you're at the funeral? Do you want to be in a good freaking mood then? Isn't there? Wouldn't you say that there are times when that's inappropriate?
But yeah, but if all your friends are gods, you don't give a shit.
Right, but that's psychotic. I mean that's kind of the problem with Tom Bombadil. It's like it's the thing that makes him kind of a dick, is that like if he is like he's not one of the Istari, so he's probably not a Maiar. So this means he's probably a Valar, which means he's like the last Valar in Middle Earth, which means he could go and kick Sauron's ass any day, and he's just like, nah, I'm hanging out with Goldberry, I'm having a good time, River's daughter, we're like collecting berries, making stews. I got shit to do, I can't go like killing Sauron.
Tom, why don't you help us? Dong long long.
Yeah, like, oh, you're dying in my immediate vicinity? Oh, I guess I'll help out. Tom, we're going off to kill a guy. See ya.
Sauron, get off my lawn. La, la,
Yeah.
la, la. But
Also,
yeah, I wanna
also, seeing as the Entwives were lost by the Ent somewhere around Entwater, or at least in the forest around where Tom lives, I think he kidnapped them. I have a theory that Tom Bombadil kidnapped all the Entwives. They were never lost. They got kidnapped.
What? That's
Yeah.
a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, well, you know, gotta pass the time.
Go into it. I wanna know, like, what the fuck? Like, why did he? What? Why should he?
Why not? Like, they're super powerful ancient beings, and he has a giant forest. But like, what do you think he means when he says, you know, go back to sleep? You're not supposed to be waking yet. Like that line that Treebeard speaks in the movies. That's Tom.
Lotion.
He fucking like Tom Bombadil. Freaking he
gets the hose again.
He puts some shit in the water. The Entwives fell asleep, and now whenever someone comes close and they start waking up, they're all cranky, so they try and kill them, and he's like acting the benevolent host, but yeah, he's really just like, it's creepy, dude.
He's fucking Buffalo Bill in Middle Earth.
Oh hell yeah, Buffalo Bombadil.
Shit. This has to become something like a fucking video somewhere, you know, like, because
Oh man,
I mean, that's just so fucked up. What a kind of a theory. Yeah.
interesting.
I kidnapped all the Entwives because why not?
Because Goldberry just wasn't enough anymore. Oh
It's
no.
like kind of a hobby, you know.
Yeah, you gotta either that, or it's like it's the other way around. Like the Entwives ran away, and he's like the benevolent. Like he's actually just like a bud. He's like, nah, you can crash on the couch. You can, you know, you can sleep it up in the forest. It's fine. I get it. They're boring. You want to get away. But like, that's legitimately kind of like screwy with that. Like, oh no, we just lost them. Okay, no further development. Oh yeah, we forgot to go looking. Oh well.
Yeah.
I guess that's okay, Tom.
Where's your
Yeah,
wife?
weirdo.
I lost her.
Yeah, you know. Oh, I'm so sorry. No. What are you sorry for? We didn't die. We just
No.
lost them.
And
Why haven't you gone looking? You know, got shit to do. Squirrels, stuff. I'm busy.
we thought about maybe it was Tom, but then again, whoops.
Yeah, you know how the Entwives are.
Yeah. All right. back to serious business.
Yes. Where we belong.
Hey Evan, I wanted to ask, do you ever do thumbnail sketches for any of your pieces? How do you visualize your composition before you start a piece?
I do thumbnails for a lot of pieces. So usually I try to I usually do thumbnails for values and lighting setups, because that's usually the thing that I struggle with the most. And then once I have that, then I'll go and like solve some colors for that, and then go in and start, you know, poking around and do something fun. But yeah, no, I definitely use thumbnails. It's a real good tool, and it's a good way to sort of specify for yourself and call this like what the point of the piece is going to be, and you know what's important for the composition. So I'm all for those thumbnails.
What do you think of Bryndon Rivers, aka Blood Raven?
Oh, okay. So he's kind of like a classic George R. R. Martin sort of trope for a character, like a white-haired, slightly vampiric dude who's albino and kind of magic-y. I don't know. like it's hard to say, right? Because he's one of these like Varys-y characters where he's working off of the idea that what he's doing is for the greater good, and I think he as a character is quite interesting. Can't wait for like further Dunk and Egg stories where we get to see his rivalry with Bittersteel. That's gonna be freaking classy. Actually, that probably won't see directly that, but yeah, Ben Rivers is a real interesting character, and there's wonderful dramas going on with him and Shara Star and all that stuff. So yeah, I like him a lot as a character. I don't like him as a human being or like a person because he's a fucking prick, but he's clever and interesting, and he's a perfect villain, right? Which is I think is kind of the point. Like he seems so perfectly villainous that we don't really feel empathy with him when we hear he gets sent to the wall and yada yada. But he's actually like in his own mind anyway. He's doing the things that are important because he's aware that the long night is coming again, and somebody's got to fucking pave the way for the prince that is promised. So yeah, he's probably the hero who's gonna save the world. Or is the villain who invited the doom in the first place? Who knows? It's George R. R. Martin. So yeah, but I like him. He's cool. I think it's George R. R. Martin's power fantasy.
Another theory.
No, but that's legit. Like whenever there's a lot of times in George R. R. Martin stories where you have like a bit of a sort of a fantasy prince character who's also happens to be albino. That's a recurring motif, but very seldom do those correspond to like the things that George actually sees in himself. But there's another archetype that he replays, which you would call like the almighty shut-in, and that very much is George R. R. Martin, and that very much is Bloodraven. He is the almighty shut-in. So for once, George lets himself be like he lets his own avatar kind of be the misunderstood hero. I think
your internet,
even though he's using extremely fucking insane. Oh no, really?
Mm-hmm.
Shitness.
Yeah. Oh, since I read Bloodraven, I just remembered at the weekend that we just had. We were thinking about having people getting a Bloodraven, blood eagle, a blood eagle as a penalty for something, and then it seemed so harsh to me. So we invented the blood chicken, like a light blood eagling. Not too much.
Ever so slight blood eagling.
Yeah.
Like you don't take the lungs all the way out. You just put them at like the base of the spine or something.
Yeah, like we just leave them in there and maybe open like a little window so people can see them. It's just blood chickening,
Just a little tickle.
Tickling the lungs.
That's a weekend with the Giannakis family, people.
I'm not Giannakis. Italian man.
Wait, what was it?
Giannakis.
No, so how was it in? Giannakis?
Yeah.
Giannakis. That's the Giannakis. Man, that's gonna be my new word for when people are a little crazy. Dude, have you gone totally Giannakis?
Yeah. People will think you're so mean. I mean, you know me so long and you can't even say my name.
Yeah, well, Can you say my name?
Evan.
Oh, the pressure is on. Huh?
Yeah, Evan.
I meant last name, you dingus.
Amundsen.
Huh? Say it. Amundsen. Come on, man, get it right.
Amundsen?
It's
I didn't know.
a stronger A.
Yeah, you never say it like that. You just say Amundsen.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't say my name.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't say my name differently, so people adjust to it. I just put it out there and see you fuck up.
Yeah, and then judge them silently.
Yes, or loudly.
Or loudly.
it seems we have a little lag again, so people don't freak out if we interrupt each other again. Here is a little question by Will. As an English person myself, I always wondered what other countries think of the whole every fantasy world everyone has English accents. Poor or posh. All dwarves are Scottish. Films set in ancient times like Gladiator with Russell Crowe, everyone speaks an English accent. Does it get tiresome? Feel free to rant. Holy shit, I hate it.
Do you? I mean, so here's my take on it, right? Like, so there are definitely times when it's annoying, especially when it's like clearly an American actor trying to do a British accent. Like when it's a cliche built on a cliche, then it gets annoying. Not really. I mean, what's the alternative? We're gonna have people speaking just like other languages. That's gonna get weird. So I don't really mind as long as it's like cleverly done, right? So in things like Rome, where they use like northern accents and stuff to be like the lower classes, and they use posh accents for like the high up Roman. Like if it's done in a clever sort of way where they're trying to use the stereotypes that are already attached to these things for a purpose, then I don't mind. Then it's cool. But if it's just like, oh, let's throw an English accent in there because it's fantasy, then yeah, I agree. It's this annoying. Which was part of my pet peeve with it's my one problem with Sean Bean in Game of Thrones. Was like, you're supposed to be a lord. Why do you speak like a peasant? I know he's a northerner, but he doesn't sound like a posh northerner, which I guess is like the whole Stark thing. Still. And the rest of his family should have sounded like Yorkies as well. They don't.
I don't know, man. For me it's just, I don't know. I can't even say why I don't like it. For me it's basically it kind of is, and you're gonna laugh, it's kind of imperialistic to me that everything has to sound fucking English. Like, why?
Ooh. That's rich coming from a Greek. But yeah, no, I can see that annoyance. Like it's frustrating if you can see potential alternatives, I guess, and if it's like if that's the thought that's in your head, I can understand how that kind of sticks. But yeah, I don't know if it's that. Is it imperialistic if it's not like? I mean, it could be consciously done, I suppose, but. Yeah, that seems overblown to me.
Yeah, no comment.
But I don't think it's ridiculous. Like
All right, another question is thoughts on crow eggs, yay or nay?
Yo. On what?
Crow eggs.
Thoughts on what? Crow. Oh, dude, best source of protein. Freaking like it's an integral part of Fight Milk. I know it was Fight Milk who asked that question. But yeah, it's important. It's important. You gotta have it. You gotta appreciate the sacrifice by the crows. It's a whole thing. It's fucking crow eggs are life, man. They're the shit.
That's a bastards thing, right?
No, it's a Always Sunny in Philadelphia thing.
Oh, okay. Which I can't watch.
Yeah.
Evan, what alignment?
You can't watch it?
No, it's...
What? Wait.
No, wait. Yeah, we don't have it here in Germany. Like, you gotta VPN it.
Oh, then we VPN it. It's worth it.
I know, I want to see it. I know. Another question. Evan, what alignment do you enjoy playing the most?
I like kind of like I like chaotic good. Just like so people who are generally, they think of themselves as the good guy, but they also have very little regard for the actual effects of their actions. So they're like, yeah, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna be the good guy, I'm gonna do the thing, and then they kill like you end up like killing half of the good guys, but you're like, yeah, we defeated the bad guy, and I ended up as king, and I rule with an iron fist, but I know best. I'm essentially like, I like playing the character that Daenerys suddenly ended up as in Game of Thrones.
Is the Apple Pencil lag noticeable? In my opinion, not.
No, not really. I mean, it's pretty straight on for me. I'm sure there are instances where it is a little off, but yeah, no, I've not noticed any particular lag with the Apple Pencil, so I think it's pretty good.
Here's a good question. Evan, what's your worst experience with a client?
Ooh, worst experience with client was having to chase them for 3 months to get my money, and then at the end they were like, "Oh, I don't know why you're so pushy." Like that was pretty shitty. Other than that, I've had a couple where it's been like returning after a month of silence with like major redos for the piece we're working on. Like, can we change the composition style redos? And being like, yeah, that goes on the same contract, right? And I'm like, no, no, I'm afraid not. That kind of thing. It happens. Not so much anymore, but it happens sometimes.
Can you explain a little bit on how you're setting yourself up for the rendering phase in this Gollum piece? Any tips?
Yeah. So what I'm thinking about right now, like if you look at the background for right now, like the light is going to come in from the right. I'm going to use a bunch of cast shadows from the overlap of his body to like try and create strong like graphic shadow shapes, which is going to help the three-dimensional read of the character. I want to use like the light to point out a bunch of little things, and then everything on like the left side of him is going to be in shadow, so that I can get the ring to be sort of shining a little golden light within that dark shadow. So that's the thinking so far.
Who of you guys is the second voice? Who knows?
It's a mystery.
Best guy to be at a funeral is the pull my finger guy. It's Fight Milk again.
What?
Yeah, I don't
Oh.
know.
Oh, of course.
Tom Bombadil keeps his personal harem of wives. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, how do you think the big forest grew so fast?
Yeah, man.
It's been feeding him his personal juice.
Okay. What character from Tyne represents you, Evan?
Oh, probably Birker.
Really?
Kind of just this ridiculous guy failing upwards. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't written any of them with myself in mind yet. But, I probably will. That's a good question. I think there's probably aspects of me in all of them.
Could you explain Tyne for me? And
But for now, I'm sticking with Birker.
I just know nothing about it yet. Yeah.
Okay. So Tyne was like a project of a bunch of different stories and a bunch of different things, and now I'm trying to coalesce it into a more coherent story and make it something that I can kind of work out as a larger narrative. So yeah, it was one thing and it's becoming another thing. That's the quick and dirty of it. But we just crossed the 7 o'clock line,
Yeah.
so we should probably begin wrapping it up. So this was a bit of a quick stream, but we'll be starting to do longer ones, sort of post to this. So yeah, Spiridon's back, baby!
Yeah, just for a while.
The longer streams can continue.
I gotta go to Bulgaria again in about a week, and then afterwards. It's
Oh, I'm
and
so
after that,
sorry.
Yeah,
You gotta
man.
go
After
to
that,
Bulgaria.
fuck you. After that, it's THU. So I'm gonna be off and on again. So maybe we gotta take a look at your morning streams and make them a little bit prettier. How about that?
Yeah, we can do that. I'm down for making pretty morning streams.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Well, that's a bye from me. Thanks for everything.
All right, guys. So thanks for dropping by the stream. We'll be doing more of these in the coming weeks and months and years. So yeah, hope you like Gollum so far. Hope you're drawing along, and yeah, we'll be putting more details on this guy next time. So bye all.